what is data as like actual data points and basically like the categories, because we know numbers are, right?
Yeah.
We know that text definitely is now. We may not have been a believer in that, but now with artificial intelligence and we're literally generative AI is the prediction of words.
Yeah.
We're okay with text now.
Well, with the pre-trained transformers, they learned how to turn words into numbers anyways.
Behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and it vectorizes the whole thing and all of
Yeah.
that. We use audio, we use images now as stuff. But what else that a human brain looks at in terms, because I like to make this distinction between humans and AI now.
Yeah.
Because we're afraid that AI is going to make all the decisions in the future, right?
Yeah.
But what is it right now that the human brain can do, or the human can do,
Yeah.
that is gathering data that is hard for an artificial intelligence to do?
Well, we by default apply data to experience. And so when we see a new point of data, like it's colored under our own experience. And so I think that that's one of the things that we're more able to feed into AI now that we weren't able to do a year ago. So I can go in and I can because I've done this for years. Like if I have a good experience or a good conversation or something like that I feel like is relevant, I'll write it down and keep up with it and whatnot. And it's tied with emotion, or it's colored with emotion. Like this made me feel this, or this is what happened, and all this other type of stuff. And so there's a lot of just I don't know what to call it. It's non-direct experiential data that takes like a data point that says 1. And then you change it to 1.5 because of your own experience, and that's not anything specific, but that's how we adapt to incoming data. And so the Gen AIs of the world now are getting to where they can help us do that as well. So you can go in and you can say, "This is me, and here's the new information. What do you think about it?" And then it'll give you an opinion, and then you can also have your own opinion, and then you can compare these two abstract opinions in ways that you couldn't before. And that's kind of what I was talking about with that Notebook LM, is like it's taking data that I read and I have an opinion on, and then it's giving me its opinion on it based off of what my opinions were, or like what my input was, because my input is one of those data sources. And so I'm tying my experience and my knowledge to an existing set of knowledge and then blending those things together in a way that creates something new.
Yeah. So going back to our definition, capturing of an imperfect view of reality, we are trying our best to capture whatever it is. Like right now, you and I sitting here, what data is being captured from an artificial intelligence standpoint? We've got the words, we've got the video, we have images, we have the metadata behind all of that, time of day, all of this other stuff. And then there's stuff that's hard to capture still for artificial intelligence. And that's, if I'm sitting here and you're talking and I look away and looks like I'm just staring off into space, you will interpret that in a certain way.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not saying that over time artificial intelligence from video will not be able to capture that, but is it doing that now? Like, does it get the cues? Well, and I'm saying it's getting better, but what is it that we're using? You and I are using to make decisions. If I was to lean back, all of the body language, our experience in general, is it cold, is it hot in here, are all things that go into us making decisions.
Yeah.
It just does. And at the end of the day, a human being is trying to make a decision or pass it off onto artificial intelligence to make that decision for them. Or how many times do you have a hard time making a decision, so you let somebody else make that decision for you?
I mean, that's what I strive for in life.
Is to not make a decision?
Yeah, as few decisions as possible.
Well, there's some things my wife will just make, and other ones that I have to make.
Yeah.
And there's times I wish she was making that instead of me. And so it's all based on decisions. And we as humans still use more data points than artificial intelligence.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to push back on that just a little bit. But are they the correct data points?
It is no idea.
Because last time I checked, we still make incorrect choices as people.
And and why not only is data for artificial intelligence imperfect, but it is for us too. And I've gotten to the point where lately everybody asks me a question and I just say it's a data problem. Because what's not a data problem? If I have better data, I will make the right decision. If I don't make the right decision, I didn't have good data.
Well, yeah, because the way you're tying it in the DIKW model to action and whatnot, I think that's accurate.
And again, not every decision in the world goes through this incredible 4-step process. What did I have for breakfast this morning? Whatever was in the refrigerator, right? Just got home after a couple of days and, we got to go grocery shopping. And that is what it is. I didn't have to go through this. Well, the best way for me to be optimal today is to do, I didn't do any of that.
We try to do that inherently, though, or just passively, though.
I think so.
Like if I'm making a left, or if I'm going somewhere and I think the place is left, but I know I can still get there right, but it takes 20 more minutes, I'm going to take the left.
Yeah.
And that's not because, I had to ponder over why I would do all this other kind of stuff. I just naturally go to the best choice. But machines don't know by default what the best choices are. But we all, I guess the point I'm trying to make is we always don't either, because sometimes I think it's left and it was actually right in the end, and I would have made a better choice by going right, even though, but I was just wrong. That's the nature of being wrong.
Well, and today, what works for you is different than me. So you need a personalized decision versus what I would need. So you would say, "Oh, I can't look at screens past 8 o'clock because I won't be able to sleep," and I'll be like, "That doesn't bother me at all." And we're wired differently. And yes, artificial intelligence. When we get to a point where we have digital twins, and then we could do all this other really cool stuff. I don't think we're there yet, and so I still feel like our experiences over time, like how many decisions do I make because of how I was brought up? I think a lot.
Yeah.
And will that be something that's captured? Should that be part of my decision? Think about that. Or if I'm making a biased decision because of where I'm from, and so we base decisions on more than just numbers and text.
Yeah.
We go through, I think the human brain still processes things at that we don't quantify yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a parent. I understand that I came to understand really quick, rather, that I held a lot of unconscious bias that I was not aware of.
Yeah.
Like I was making decisions on how I raised my kids that I'd never thought about before. But then when I stopped and looked at it, I was just like, oh, I just skewed that way by default because that was my model or whatnot.
Your experiences dictated. So experiences, I think, are still hard to capture. So data is still the same. It's how it's captured, how we process it.
I think it's not the experience necessarily. I think it's the impact of the experience that's maybe more important. Because like you said, like if I write a set of sentences down, to me they may be awful, and to you it may be, I don't care, it's whatever. It doesn't affect me at all.
Sure.
But it could be the worst thing for me.